Huggy Wuggy is coming back into Chapter 3 in some way, at the very least. New information was just released on if Huggy himself is actually supposed to be alive during the course of the new game or not, along with what we're told on one of the most important details about Huggy's appearance here. What actually happened after the long fall we witnessed in Chapter 1, as the further clues left behind connect to what our developers behind the game revealed early. How did Huggy's long fall result in this strange new look we're shown in the first Chapter 3 trailer? For starters, we saw evidence actually left behind in the second chapter of the game earlier on, as alongside the Bunzo Bunny conveyor belt, developers left behind samples of Huggy's fur smudged on the wall of the area, as well as his blood. We need to know what actually happened to him here. And going off of our first big comment on the situation by the game developers, it turns out everything found in this area matches up with the idea of Huggy being alive. The first statement itself read, "He's dead, oh," as a response to a Poppy Playtime Discord member asking about the character, as, believe it or not, Huggy seemingly being dead, only to make it out in the end, is exactly what's likely going on, based on the evidence in the Bunzo Bunny conveyor belt room. Let me explain. You see, first, after the initial fall in Chapter 1, we get the idea that he was attempting to grab onto something on the way down, as that's what we saw originally. A theorist put it best, claiming it's likely falling down into this next room we saw in Chapter 2, Huggy was able to latch onto something on the way down and survive, just like what he'd been trying to do earlier on. We know that the black rectangles on Huggy Wuggy's hands seems to be a sort of Velcro-like material, one that could act as a magnet, helping to end his fall, as we've seen this strange grippy-like material present with other monsters in the Poppy Playtime series as well. This would also perfectly explain why we see this same blood and fur trail left behind lead right up to one of the conveyor slots in the same room, the route for his escape to finally happen, leading into his appearance in Chapter 3. Let's take a look at what developers also revealed early here. Originally, after Huggy's strange depiction in the early Chapter 3 teaser, many of the Discord server members were asking for insight into what the heck was even going on here. And our first response to Huggy's alleged role we'd be meant to look out for was a developer, Amber, telling us that he was gone for good. But that's not where our story ended. More recently, it came out that this first response from developers confirming Huggy's death was likely more of a reaction to the constant non-stop questions about Huggy's strange Chapter 3 appearance, and that there was a new response. Something a little more official. Hey Amby Wamby, is Huggy really dead? As that was the lasting impression we were given from the game developer statements earlier on. And this time the story starts to change, with her new response telling us that we should be waiting to see in Chapter 3, as this upcoming game's events are meant to finally clear everything up. But the story itself doesn't end there either, it turns out. We were also recently clued into the appearance of a new secret character meant to pop up in Chapter 3 that somewhat matched everything we know about Huggy's new role as well. We were told that it was a character that Avalon P and Megan L put a lot of work into making really cool looking on the concepts phase, and Vincent on the modeling / texturing phase, with no specified gender linking to the character. But this new modeling phase, said to be going into this unrevealed character, matches up perfectly with the fact that Huggy Wuggy's entire model has changed from how we previously saw him. This new work we're told of could very well connect to this new cool looking appearance of the character we already know and love, as from the looks of it, the design itself seems to be pretty interesting looking. What the heck is going on here? And we also know that in the case of the other revealed Chapter 3 character that we're told hasn't made an appearance yet, we were already told to be expecting a new secret girl character. She is not a smiling critter, we're officially told. And the fact we're already getting Poppy, Kissy Missy, and whatever this new addition is meant to be, makes it seem like the other secret monster we're told of could end up being a male character instead. We see more of a confirmation we were waiting for as well, as recently we were given the most important insight we've ever had on Huggy's involvement. A Poppy Playtime Discord member gives us the insight we needed by starting with a comment on the whole Huggy situation. Yeah, Huggy was confirmed to be dead by Amber, to which, as I've previously touched on, we see the very interesting response of Chuckles, are you sure about that? As we know, following Amber's initial statement, she ended up changing her tune by letting us know that we should be waiting to see what Chapter 3 actually had in store for us first. We've already been told to officially be expecting characters from previous chapters regardless, and more specifically, fan favorites. What other character could even be referenced here outside of the face of the entire franchise himself? He's literally on the damn logo. The CEO of the company preps us for answers to our questions left behind in Chapter 1, specifically, meaning overall we have more evidence than ever backing up the idea of Huggy surviving the long fall and finally making his big return. But that's actually where Huggy's role takes a bit of a twist. You see, along with his appearance being likely to finally take place somewhere in this third game, we also know there's a big problem here. You see, going off of what we're told by developers as well as the CEO of the company himself, it's starting to seem like a strong possibility for Huggy finally meeting his end sometime within Chapter 3. Let me explain. For starters, a fan of the series asked some of the Mob Entertainment team members for information about the certain scenes we'd be playing through in the actual game. Specifically, question, will this chapter be emotional or have scary/intense chases? As we're told yes, with the emotional aspect of the game sticking out here. You see, having Huggy Wuggy finally return in this upcoming game, only to meet his end further down the line, would likely be upsetting to a lot of players. It would obviously be a pretty big twist. And as we're already told by the CEO of the company himself early, all I can say about the new characters is that some people are going to laugh, some people are going to scream, and some people are going to cry. Even referencing the big twist directly by continuing on with, all I can say is that there are definitely going to be some big twists that will invoke an emotional response from the players. A potential final send-off to the character that many have grown to love in the first chapter of the game. But that doesn't mean we don't have more key information about the other characters early, as we're able to put together everything about the game's additional secret characters as well. We were told to be expecting something new to the franchise that we've never actually seen a depiction of before that was meant to be a female character. But who is this mystery monster meant to actually be? It turns out the earlier statements about the characters of Chapter 3 help us finally put together everything. Specifically, we were clued into the fact that when creating this mystery character originally, there was actually some copyright issues that popped up with the name. Something about this female character's name was meant to stick out in some way, and everything else we're told connects perfectly to one of the past concepts we can end up seeing in Chapter 3. So I put together the full story for everything we're meant to actually be looking at with these secret monsters in this video right here. For what we're told on this strange situation early, make sure to check it out.